Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of Air Tycoon Online. Yeah, today we're just going to be kind of continuing, expanding, um, and growing and stuff like this. Like, looking at our profit, this is the downtick. Not great at all. I'm not sure why it's so bad, but the upticks, on the other hand, are looking extremely good. This is a ridiculously high fluctuation, 2 billion to 800,000. Um, Also, I think part of that is just due to the fuel price fluctuating up a little bit recently. Yeah, here we go. With this fluctuation, yeah, we just happened to coincide with the downticks. We've gotten some pretty extreme profit fluctuations, but as the years go, we're increasing year on year quite quickly now, which is really nice. And that is also like becoming evident in the company value graph. I know it doesn't look steep, but this is quite a fast growth considering the scale of this graph, this being 100 billion, this being 50 billion. So like this is basically a company value double in just a few years. 5 years or so, I believe, which is really nice. And I think I'm honestly catching up with the number two guy now, while the number one guy, however, is still pulling away in terms of value per turn. But I'm catching up to him as a fraction of my company. What do I mean by that? Is he's growing by, say, 3% of his value per turn, where I'm growing by 4 or 5% of my value per turn. And I know from experience that if I can maintain that, I'm not sure if I will be able to maintain that, but if I can, I will continue to close in on him. Um, and there might not be enough time left in the world, but if there is enough time, I will catch up to him. Um, just from experience, I believe that should be the case, but I'm not sure if, of course, I will actually be able to do that before the end of this game. So, yeah, on the other hand, I think it's just time to start or maintain opening new routes. Of course, you really can't grow without opening new routes or increasing the size of the plane flying your existing routes. And yeah, my favorite thing to do in this game is, of course, opening new routes. Yeah, this really never gets old, kind of, which is why I like this game. It's kind of like a mini game of finding all the available possibilities and then just picking the ones you want. That's kind of how opening new routes feels to me. Um, and yeah, the only annoying thing about it is, of course, running out of slots in your hubs. That, of course, is the one frustrating aspect of opening new routes. And yeah, fortunately, though, um, there's just tons of routes right now, which are just easy to take and have not very much competition. So yeah, I'm kind of free to open these routes as such. Like this, I can probably use a 747 proper dash 300. I can't wait because the 400 is going to come out soon. Um, which in my opinion is a pretty big deal because the 400 is an extremely nice aircraft. I believe it has 13,000 kilometers of range as well. So unlike current generation aircraft I'm using, um, which kind of struggle to fly between very nice destinations, often due to range, like for example, the east coast of the United States is mostly still unreachable from Asia. Um, so yeah, like very soon we'll have the 747-400 to, I think with 13,000 something kilometers of range, it should be able to quite comfortably pick up all those routes, which is extremely nice, of course. And a lot more. There's just tons and tons of opportunities unlocked with the increased range. Of course, like you could gem the planes to get increased range that way, but you take so many gems to accomplish so little, it's just not worth it at all. And yeah, I would always save your gems for maintenance depots, guys. So if you have no gems, like you're just starting out and you have no money to spend on the game, here's the priority for gems. All right. Number one is getting into alliance. Getting into an alliance, especially a good one, can offer a huge boost to passengers for very little cost of gems. And then the second priority is buy maintenance depots in your largest airports. Um, it saves so much money to have maintenance depots in your airports for so few gems, especially if you hyper hubbing. So like, what do I mean by hyper hubbing? It's just a fucking made up word I made to describe what I'm doing with my hubs, which is taking them to literally every city. Um, For example, I would call my London hub and my Los Angeles hub basically hyper hubs because they've been taken to every city which, I've remembered to take them to. I mean, there's some exceptions like Abuja and like these cities here which have not been taken to London yet, but that's not because I don't intend to take them, but because um, I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I really want to take those cities to literally everything. And especially if you have similar hubs to that, go ahead and open up a maintenance depot. You'll save so much money for such a little investment. I'll show you guys in a second as soon as I'm done with this route. Nantes to Hong Kong to Cebu. Um, yeah, so here, let's take a look at my maintenance savings. Yeah, I'm saving 260,000 from 10 maintenance depots. If you think about it, that's much more efficient than buying airports. 10 maintenance depots is the same price as one airport, but 10 maintenance depots do not have a hope in hell, or one airport does not have a hope in hell of making 260,000 a turn, whereas um, my what's it called? My maintenance depots easily save that in one turn, which is really, really nice. So, yeah, we just have a few more route pairs to take before we're going to be out of slots. Let's just see what kind of nicer airports can we find. I guess we could use these ones. Um, they're not great, Stavanger and Bergen, but they work, and we can find some stopover destination, maybe something like this. Just compete with that. And yeah, these are the kind of routes I've been opening up recently. And yeah, so now we can go ahead and throw ahead. Oh, we can open one more route to Hong Kong even. So let's go for something Hiroshima to Hong Kong. Oh, I accidentally misclicked. You can find something like this, and then, I don't know, some kind of destination over here. You know what, that works because, oh, nope, I'm not doing 4 schedules a week. I'd much prefer 5. Let's see if any cities around here work. Bucharest sounds like a, oh man, I misclicked again. That is certainly frustrating, misclicking and then having to redo all the clicks. Oh, this can do 6. Well, let's just hope I remember to at some point increase the schedules. So, yep, that's perfect. And then where else? Where else are we expanding out of? Barcelona. Um, Go ahead and throw in a slot request for that. And Barcelona is a bit interesting because it honestly is not doing a great job of keeping the smaller planes full, as you guys can see. Or even like a 7-4 SP is not a big plane, and it's not even full. I know these are down ticks, but I think the premium classes are a bit too big to fly to a smaller city like Barcelona, so I think I'm going to need to fix that soon and decrease the size of premium classes. As in general, I'm opening routes to smaller and smaller destinations. But yeah, regardless of that, the hub is still doing well. I mean, I think a lot of the other reasons probably because, as you just saw, it was overflowing and I didn't notice. Um, that's probably another big reason for the for the unidealness of the routes I've been observing. Yes, honestly likely just because I hadn't noticed that the airport was basically full. So yeah. Anyways, just opening routes like this should have no problem keeping it full most of the time. But the uptick downtick variation I'm experiencing is not too bad. Um, in all honesty, like it's annoying, but the average is still high and it's still growing really, really fast. So yeah, let's see if I can find a freaking nicer route. I mean, this is the best I can find, I think. So let's go ahead and throw a 747-300 on that, since Moulton is a relatively big city. And what else could we find? Maybe like, well, something in this zone of the planet would be nice. Montreal, Ottawa seem to all be taken. Cleveland. I probably could have done Cleveland to Paris to Busan. Probably would have been a better route. This one I want to make to Chongqing. also with a 747-300. Very nice. I love how good 747s are in this game compared to in real life, where 747s are basically becoming extremely irrelevant nowadays, um, thanks to efficient twin engine aircraft like the 777 and stuff. But in this game, I think the 747 is basically forever useful until the A380 comes out, in which case the A380 becomes slightly more useful thanks to its size. Um, but yeah, I'm just appreciating the fact that in this game, somehow, some way, big aircraft remain relevant mostly through stopovers, and that's kind of cool. Uh, yeah, I mean, as efficient and nice as the twin engine aircraft are in the real world, in the sense that they're super efficient, they're good for the environment, they allow cheaper flights, and all that stuff. It just feels kind of bad knowing that nice big quad jets are a relic of the past, even though they're so, I guess, iconic. And yeah, it's just kind of nice to know that in this game, big quad jets reign supreme for the entire game. So that's pretty nice. Anyways, as you guys can see, there's so many routes to open still. Um, yeah, basically every route you've seen me open today, this episode, easily, easily fills the aircraft I'm opening the routes on, which is of course why I'm opening the routes in the first place. And yeah, if you guys want to copy these kind of routes in your world and has a similar world traveler index, if you use a similar plane, it will be similarly full. Um, yeah, especially if you have no competition as well. Um, I know that I have a decent amount of competition on a lot of these routes, but I have extremely high satisfaction. So when I do compete, I usually come out on top, despite having my habits such as min seating and stuff. Wow, look at this! Like routes like Agno-Fagasta to London are being taken. I wonder if I should just compete with them because it is PwC, and of course I want to compete with that guy wherever I see the chance. Um, but yeah, I think other than that, London did just about everything is taken. Um, and I kind of want to give the same treatment to Paris, because Paris is pretty big, where London can easily support a 747 SP, like easily. Paris can just barely support a 747 SP on a lot of these routes, but they're worth taking nevertheless. Uh, yeah, even pretty like shitty cities like this, I'm just gonna take them. Um, yeah, because it takes very little effort to find these routes. In the future, I can fly them with either smaller 777s or larger 767s, like 767-400, or if that's too big, I could use something like um, what's it called? A 767-400 or a 777-200 or something like that in the future would likely be good planes to fly these routes. So yeah. Anyways, it does seem like, however, I am starting to run out of slots, which is eternally a problem for me. Maybe I should open up Amsterdam as a hub. But it seems that somebody else has moved in and taken a lot of the nicer routes to it, so I don't think I will. Um, Given that I seriously have nothing to take from this hub. Shame, I probably spent a lot of money investing in it, um, only to never actually be able to take a lot of the routes, which is a bit of a shame. But at the same time, I mean, big deal, whatever. There'll be more nice places in the future. I believe I have most of America yet to do. Like, I've honestly not kind of invested into America at all for some reason. Uh, Come on. You know what? I'll just compete with like Lima, for example, because I guess that's a PwC monopoly. Yep. Um, so I'll not only compete with that, compete with that with a 747-300, just to cause emptiness in his 747-200. Uh, yeah, it's always never nice to see your main competitors operating nice monopolies, so I just gotta, get my sturdy paws in there and kind of ruin his fun. One route at a time. Now, it's not worth competing with him route by route right now because I make so much less money than him. But if I ever get close, um, what I mean by close is, for example, right now he makes close to 4 billion a turn on upticks. I make 2 billion a turn on upticks. Um, like once my number gets close, like say 3 billion to 4 billion, or I'll probably have to be close to 4 billion, and when he's close to 5 billion, is probably when I'll be close. Um, then I'm gonna start to overlap him because every time I overlap him, he loses more than me, just a little bit more, not a lot, a few percent more, thanks to the 20% or so satisfaction gap I've opened up through that investment. So yeah, basically every time I compete with him, he'll be losing just a little bit more money than me, and hopefully through that I'll be able to get his profit below mine before the year, like say 2005. And then with that in mind, um, if I get his profit below mine by 2005, I should be able to overtake him by 2020, the end of the game. If it doesn't happen by then, I think he'll stay above me forever, even if I get more profitable than him, because it'll simply take forever um, to overtake him just because his value is so far above mine. 200 million a turn, like for example, right? I'm making less money than him. There's 27 years elapsed or something like that. So, with this 200 million value delta between us, it's going to take 200 turns, which is like how many turns are there in a year? There's 10 turns in a year, so 10 years is 100 turns, or there's 12 turns in a year, so 200 turns is almost like 20 years in this game. It's like 18 years or something like that. And yeah, I'm gonna need to be more than a billion per turn more profitable than him. So it's looking tough to ever overtake this guy now. Is basically what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm gonna have to somehow pull out a lot more cash from my company while a lot less, while preventing him from making money. That's gonna be tough. Um, However, I believe it's going to be possible, and not even difficult for it to be possible. I just have to maintain activity because I am making a lot more per dollar of my company. Um, if my company was equivalently valuable as his, yet still making money at the same rate, I would probably be making 6 or 7 billion a turn. I don't know why that is, but I guess a lot more of my company is leased. So that's one reason for that. But all of my leased aircraft now, the 747-100s, are basically not even making money. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, as you guys can see, very, very poor profits across the board. A lot of these are competition as well as being leased. It's really cutting into the profit margins. So I'm looking forward to the day where I get to finally replace those. But right now I'm focusing on expanding with the 747-300s. And SPs, and yeah, as you guys can see how much more profitable these are. Just random ass routes. Porto Alegre, where the frick is that? To Los Angeles to Gaziantep. Massively profitable with the 747-300s. So I'm going to be replacing SPs, which are doing well, with 300s because look at the results. I mean, just random ass routes, Pittsburgh to Beijing, that aren't necessarily even that obviously good, are kind of rolling it in with 747-300s. Yeah, just doing extremely, extremely well. Uh, yeah, like for example, this freaking Montreal to Beijing, it's making so much. This is a DC 1030, and it's not making that much, unfortunately. But yeah, like this kind of route to Beijing and Shanghai. Shanghai's a little bit smaller, so I'll probably use SPs, but they can be flown with 747-300s, and they can make tons of cash, which is just extremely, extremely nice. So yeah, like Molten, I'm yeah, I can use Molten as a stopover point for all these cities to Beijing, and then let's see, what's the biggest city around here that is not yet taken? Toledo? Nope. That's just a perfect blockage, so I cannot see. Looks like I've been pretty thorough here, but I'm sure there's ones I've missed, like Jacksonville. Yep, very nice. Like these can all be flown with 747-300s and be completely full, and they're so profitable, like 10,000 per aircraft ish, which is just extremely, extremely nice. I can also probably do the same thing with Shanghai, something like this. Yeah, extremely, extremely profitable route like this. Um, Actually, I'm gonna try and get that with 5 schedules a week because I think that's possible and gonna be much more like what the frick? It seems like nobody's hubbing actively out of Shanghai. Like, how is Wuhan to Shanghai available at this day and age? You know what I mean? Um, that really shouldn't be a thing. Uh, let's see, what can we do? Maybe one Mexican cities like Chihuahua. Yeah, that's pretty nice indeed as well. But oh, we're lacking schedules a week, so see if we can find anything a little bit closer, like Portland. So hopefully this brings us up to 5 schedules a week. Very nice. Yep. I think it's really worth it to pay attention to how many schedules you get a week. Um, it makes a really big difference in your profit overall once you have a lot of routes. So yeah. Anyways, just a few things left to do this episode. Just clean up, um, clean up some of these slot requests. So just make sure we're not sitting on any slot requests. Uh, yeah, make sure we got slots in pairs for the next time we need to open some routes. And then we need to set the prices for the routes we just opened. I still have tons of routes flying on 1.0 prices when I forgot to set the prices. And that's super annoying because, I mean, I have like close to 2,000 routes now. Not really, I have like 1,500, I think. Yeah, 1,300 routes. But most of those are like, once you have this many routes, you can't manually controlling the route prices means nothing anymore. There's, you know, like somewhere I scrolled over the 1.0 prices, and I doubt anyone even saw it. Um, like I'd also like to show you my. I'm kind of curious. Let's look at my routes. So A300s making about 4 to 5K, pretty interesting. 707s still making 2K per plane, which is not bad at all. Some of them making 3K even, not bad at all. 747s only making about 4K a plane. This is of course the point 0.5 downtick, so it's one of the worst. Some of them making 6K, which is honestly not bad considering they are leased. Once these are not leased, they'll be making 3K more. So a lot of them will be like making 6 to 10,000, which is exactly what you want to see. Plus the older, more less fuel efficient, not satisfying any more planes, still making this much is not bad at all. Especially the monopolies are still mostly making around 5K. This one's even making 8K. Look at that. That's pretty good. Um, yeah. So how much are other planes making? 747 300s, of course, or 200s. Most of these are competition, so not doing too well. But yeah, the 300s, on the other hand, seem to be doing massively well. This plane's making 10K, this plane's making 8K, this plane's making 7K, this plane's making 10,000, this plane's making 6,000 or 7,000, this plane's only making 5,000. Albuquerque to Barcelona, I have no idea why I promoted that to a 747-300. That's probably an accident. 6,000, uh, 8,000 almost. Like these planes are in general just doing really, really well. Like 6 to 10,000, it seems like. Uh, yeah, that's excellent. Let's see how much are SPs making. There are a lot of these. Hold up. Okay, so here's some SPs. These are making about 6,000, like 4 to 6,000. This one's only making 3,000. Makassar to Hong Kong. Oh wait, I think I've been looking at these wrong. I think this is the plane and this is the stop. Yeah, but it makes very little difference. Um, yeah, they only seem to be making around 4,000 actually. Like this plane, for example, is making like 6,000. So this plane is making 6,000, but then this one's only making 3,000. So there seems to be a really large variation in the profitability of these, but it's like 3 to like 8,000. It's a big range. But the average seems to be about 6,000. So yeah, I'd say it's probably only around 4,000. Like it's pretty bad. The direct ones aren't very good. Look at this, 4K, 5K. But then again, most of them aren't full. Like the full ones are still making tons. Like look at this. I think one of the biggest reasons is my premium classes are too big. So note for the future, make your premium classes smaller once you start to take terrible routes. Um, this round, for example, is really struggling. Guangzhou to Bratislava, but it must be because of satisfaction, no? Well, anyways, it is a point. It is a 0.5 tick, so everything's a bit skewed for the worse. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. It's been too long, too much rambling, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.